Welcome to my channel, C.S. Lewis Spirit. In today's video, we dive into something most people ignore, but can never truly escape: the shocking truth about how demons predict your failures. Have you ever felt like your deepest fears, your smallest insecurities, or even your darkest secrets were somehow being used against you? Almost as if something unseen knew exactly when to whisper doubts into your mind, just when you were about to take a step forward. That eerie sense, the strange voice in your head that makes you quit before you even try, that's not random. Tonight, we explore a mystery that has haunted humanity for centuries. How these dark forces seem to predict your failures long before you even realize them yourself. Think about it. Why is it that when you finally gather the courage to change your life, something invisible rises to stop you? Why do your failures feel almost pre-written, as if the outcome was decided before the story even began? Some call it bad luck, others call it fate, but ancient stories suggest something far more unsettling. They say there are beings, watchers of human weakness, who don't just guess your mistakes, but study you so deeply that they know your next move better than you do. This is not about horror movies or cheap thrills. This is about the reality of unseen patterns, the secrets that hide in plain sight. For centuries, cultures across the world, from ancient civilizations to modern spiritual thinkers, have spoken of invisible entities that feed not on your strength, but on your failures. They don't have to create your downfall. They just have to know where you will fall. And wait, but how do they know? How do they predict your failures before you even take action? The shocking truth is that demons, or these unseen watchers, don't read your future the way you imagine. They don't need a crystal ball. They don't see tomorrow like a movie playing in their minds. Instead, they read you, your habits, your emotions, your hidden fears. They study the subtle signs you give away every single day, the doubts in your eyes, the hesitation in your steps, the silent battles in your thoughts. And with each clue, they weave together a pattern so accurate that it feels like prophecy. Imagine this: every time you tell yourself, "I can't do this," every time you start a plan but never finish, every time you let fear decide for you, those whispers don't just vanish. They echo in a place you cannot see, becoming evidence in the hands of forces that thrive on your weakness. The truth is, your failures are rarely accidents. They are predictions fulfilled. And yet, here lies the greatest mystery. If demons can predict your failures with such precision, does that mean your destiny is already sealed? Or is there a way to break the cycle, to confuse them, to rise beyond the patterns they expect? The deeper we go into the story, the more unsettling it becomes. Because once you realize how much is already known about you, not by people, not by the world, but by unseen forces, the question will no longer be why you fail. The question will be, are you truly in control at all? Tonight, we begin unraveling this shocking truth. But as we peel back the layers, one thing becomes terrifyingly clear. The very act of watching this video might awaken the exact forces we are exposing. And as you listen, as your thoughts align with this story, you may begin to wonder, are you being studied right now? The answer is closer than you think. The unsettling part of this mystery is that the conflict isn't just happening in some distant, unseen realm. It's happening inside you every single day. The struggle is silent, but it's everywhere. Think about the times you've been so close to success, only to sabotage yourself with doubt or fear. Was it really just your own weakness? Or was something feeding that weakness, nudging you just enough to make you stop? This is where the conflict becomes terrifying, because it's not only about external forces watching you, but about how easily your own thoughts can be twisted against you. Some people describe it as a voice, others as a sudden heaviness, but the pattern is almost always the same. Right before someone's breakthrough, when the light is finally about to break through the darkness, something pushes them back into the shadows. Friends and family may never see it. To the world, it just looks like you gave up or changed your mind. But beneath the surface, an invisible game is being played. And in this game, every hesitation, every fear becomes a weapon used against you. There are stories of people who claim they felt this battle so clearly it was as if someone stood in the room with them, whispering their worst fears aloud. Others speak of strange coincidences, opportunities vanishing at the last moment, relationships breaking right when they were needed most, sudden thoughts of failure that made no sense until it was too late. The conflict deepens when you realize it's not just about individual choices, but about patterns repeating through generations. Could it be that what feels like your personal struggle is part of a much bigger design? And if that's true, who's really pulling the strings? The deeper we move into this story, the more unsettling the pieces begin to connect. What if your struggles are not isolated moments, but carefully studied triggers? Every failure, every hesitation, every breakdown, almost as if your life has been mapped out, not by fate, but by forces that understand you better than you understand yourself. And this is where the tension rises, because once you start to notice the patterns, you can't unsee them. Why do the same obstacles keep returning? Why do your fears appear at the very moment you're about to step into something new? It feels less like coincidence and more like someone or something is waiting for you at the edge of your own progress. This is the point where the conflict begins to twist into something unbearable. Imagine standing at the doorway of your biggest opportunity, your hand reaching for the handle, and then a thought flashes in your mind so loud, so real, it freezes you in place. That single pause, that fraction of hesitation, becomes the opening for your downfall. These moments are not random. They are the battlefield where the invisible war reaches its peak. And the closer you move toward your breakthrough, the louder these whispers grow. There are those who say demons don't need to destroy you, they only need to delay you. Every second you wait, every chance you let pass, is another victory in their silent war. And if they can predict the exact second you'll hesitate, then they don't have to fight at all. They only have to watch you defeat yourself. The question is no longer if they know your failures, but how far ahead of you are they already? And the answer is about to shake everything you thought you knew. But just when you think you understand the depth of this invisible war, another twist emerges. One that makes the conflict even more chilling. What if demons aren't simply predicting your failures based on what you do, but on what generations before you have already done? Imagine carrying patterns of fear, anger, or broken dreams that were never truly yours, yet they live inside you like shadows passed down from those who came before. Suddenly, the battle is not just against your own doubts, but against the weight of an unseen inheritance. This is the second layer of the trap. You are not only predictable because of your habits, you are predictable because of history itself. People often wonder why certain families seem to suffer the same struggles again and again. Cycles of poverty, cycles of fear, cycles of broken trust. Is it really just coincidence? Or could it be that these patterns are so deeply carved into human behavior that dark forces only need to press the same buttons to see the same failures repeat? If that is true, then the conflict is much bigger than one person's mistakes. It is a web of weakness that stretches across time, waiting for you to step into it without even realizing. This twist changes everything because it means your failures are not only being predicted in the present moment, but are being anticipated long before you were even born. And with each decision you make, the pressure grows heavier. What feels like your choice may already have been expected, calculated, and even waited for. The scariest part is how ordinary it all looks on the outside. To others, you're just living life. But beneath the surface, every decision is being weighed, every fear is being tracked, and every hesitation is being recorded like pieces of a puzzle only they can see completed. And now the stakes are higher than ever. If your patterns, your emotions, and even your family history can be read like an open book, then the real question becomes, how much of your life is truly your own? Because if the whispers of failure are not only yours but echoes from the past, then escaping them might not just be difficult, it might be nearly impossible. And just when you start to see how deep this goes, you realize something even more terrifying. What if the very thoughts running through your head right now are part of that same design, pushing you toward the ending they've been waiting for all along?